Hello, everyone, and welcome. Get ready, because today we are setting off on an absolutely incredible grand tour of India's most treasured places. It's 42 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We're going to go from the towering peaks of the Himalayas to the steps of ancient temples. We've got a lot of ground to cover. So, let's dive right in.
So, first things first, what actually makes a place a World Heritage Site? Well, basically, it's a spot on Earth that has what's called outstanding universal value. This means it's not just important to one country. No, these places are considered part of the shared story of all of us, and they're legally protected, so that future generations can experience them too.
Here's a quick look at our itinerary. We'll kick things off with the sheer scale of India's heritage. Then we'll journey region by region, starting in the north, moving through the west and central parts, and then discovering the south and east. And we'll wrap up by talking about what it really means to protect this amazing legacy.
To really get a handle on the scope of what we're talking about, you have to start with the numbers. I think this gives you a real sense of the incredible depth and, the diversity that we're about to explore.
42. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the total number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India right now. That number puts India way up there, among the top countries in the entire world for recognized sites. It's just a staggering list of human history and natural beauty.
Now, what's really cool is how this breaks down. You can see that the vast majority, 34 of them, are cultural sites. These are the forts, the temples, the ancient cities, all the places that tell the story of India's incredible civilizations. Then you've got 7 natural sites, which protect these one-of-a-kind ecosystems. And there's even one mixed site, which is special for both its natural and its cultural importance.
All right, let's get our tour started. We are beginning in North India, a region that's been the seat of empires for centuries and, honestly, is home to some of the most iconic landmarks on the entire planet. This region is just full of incredible contrasts. You've got everything from the bustling, historic capital of Delhi down on the plains, all the way up to the majestic, snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas. And its heritage sites, as you'll see, reflect that perfectly.
In Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, you really find the heart of Mughal architecture. We're talking about the massive Red Fort complex in Delhi, a true symbol of imperial power. And of course, in Agra, you have the Taj Mahal. I mean, it's a monument to love that really needs no introduction, does it? These places aren't just buildings, they are absolute masterpieces of art that really define an entire era.
Okay, so here's a fascinating question for you. When you look at Rajasthan, there's a site called the Hill Forts of Rajasthan, but it's not just one fort. So how in the world can 6 different, totally massive structures, miles apart, be grouped together as one single site?
Well, the answer is that they form what's known as a serial site. These 6 incredible forts like Chittorgarh and Kumbhalgarh together represent the absolute peak of Rajput military design. It's a really clever way to recognize a cultural phenomenon that was spread out over a huge area. Now, if we move north from the deserts of Rajasthan, the whole landscape just changes dramatically as we get into the Himalayas. Here, the heritage shifts from these man-made forts to incredible natural wonders and amazing feats of engineering, like the stunningly beautiful Valley of Flowers in the historic Kalka-Shimla Mountain Railway.
Our journey now is going to take us west and right into the heart of the subcontinent. This is a land of ancient caves carved straight out of mountains and cities that are just buzzing with layers and layers of history. So this leg of our trip is going to focus on states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. The history here is it's incredibly deep. We're talking about a timeline that stretches all the way from ancient rock shelters to the grand colonial buildings of the 19th and 20th centuries. Maharashtra offers this amazing journey through time. On the one hand, you have the Ajanta and Ellora caves, entire monasteries and temples just meticulously carved out of solid rock over hundreds of years. It's mind-boggling. And then, on the other hand, you can walk through Mumbai and see these grand Victorian Gothic train stations and famous Art Deco buildings. It's ancient devotion and modern ambition literally side by side. In Gujarat, we can journey back 4,000 years to Dholavira, an ancient city from the Indus Valley civilization. Then there's Rani Ki Vav, a stepwell that's so intricately carved it feels more like an underground temple built to honor water. It's stunning. Then, moving into Madhya Pradesh, you can feel this profound sense of peace at the Buddha stupas at Sanchi and marvel at the world-famous, elaborate sculptures of the Khajuraho temples. All right, for the final leg of our regional tour, we are heading down to the lush landscapes of the south and then across to the wild, natural wonders of the east.
We are now covering a huge area, from the coasts of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, which are dotted with ancient temples, to the dense mangrove forest of West Bengal and Assam. This region is home to some of the oldest temple complexes and some of the most vital natural sanctuaries on the whole subcontinent.
The South is really the land of great ancient dynasties. In Hampi, for example, you can literally wander through the breathtaking ruins of the capital of the vast Vijayanagara Empire. And in Tamil Nadu, the great living Chola temples are exactly that. They're not just relics in a museum, they are still active centers of worship, centuries and centuries after they were built. It's a perfect example of the continuity of culture in this region. Eastern India offers such an incredible mix. You have sites of profound spiritual importance, like the Mahabodhi Temple in Bihar, which is where the Buddha is said to have attained enlightenment. You also have these great centers of ancient learning, like the university at Nalanda. And then you have these vital natural sanctuaries, from the massive Sundarbans mangrove forest, home of the Bengal tiger, to the rhino habitats of Kaziranga.
Here's a really quick and fun comparison for you. India has two very different types of railway-related heritage sites. You've got the mountain railways, like the famous one in Darjeeling, which are celebrated as these incredible feats of engineering that somehow comfort impossible terrain. Then, in complete contrast, you have the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus in Mumbai, which is recognized as an architectural masterpiece, a symbol of Victorian grandeur. Two railways, telling two completely different stories.
And that brings us to our final stop. We have journeyed all across the country. But the tour doesn't just end with seeing these incredible places, it ends with understanding their value and, really, the collective responsibility that we all have to protect them. So, when you look at this map of India now, try not to see it as just a collection of dots. It's more like a treasure map of human creativity, of spiritual devotion, and of natural evolution, all woven into the fabric of the subcontinent. Every single site is a chapter in a much, much larger story.
So, here's the bottom line. The sheer diversity is just astounding. We've gone from looking at delicate carvings made by monks 2,000 years ago to a dynamic, living mangrove forest that is one of the planet's most important ecosystems. Taken together, these 42 sites tell a story that spans thousands of years of our history.
And that leaves us with a final, really important question. When you have a heritage that is this immense, this rich, and this varied, the challenge is enormous. It's not just about seeing it, it's about protecting it from time, from the climate, from human pressure. So the question for all of us really is this: how do we make sure this shared legacy, our shared legacy, survives for everyone in the future?